Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you with another video talking about WrestleMania 32. This one isn't really going to be about the card. This one isn't going to be about WrestleMania trip plans. But I've made one video with some tips and some tricks, and talking about the things that I'm going to be doing on this. Hopefully, that will show up in the selected videos on the side. If not, you can just Twitter, I guess not Twitter search, but YouTube search Stevie Breach. We're at WrestleMania 32 and continue on with what we're going and talking about. But this week, Miguel freaking Yaya 88, his YouTube channel is really blowing up. He's putting up videos left and right. Honestly, Miguel sort of had left YouTube for a while, and now he's fueling the fire, and he's made some good videos this week. So honestly, go over to his channel and check it out. One of them was talking about WrestleMania 32 trip plans with everyone that's going to be going, and what everyone's going to be doing. And Miguel has always made some good videos. He always seems more relaxed and cool and calm in his videos. And with me, it's like a freaking train wreck where I'm trying to remember like things in my mind that I want to say, and I'm just trying to spit them out as fast as I can. Miguel is just like cool and calm with his tips and his tricks, and you get to the point of what he's doing. But honestly, Ravi, Assault and Battery 777, it wouldn't be a trip without those two guys. Of course, Justin's going to be there, and Matt Lorenzo, and Griff, and Instant Classic, and this, that, and the other. Everyone's going. But this is just honestly looking at the stadium. I cannot believe this. I don't know if you guys have gone over and looked at AT&T Stadium seating chart. And I know there's not an official seating chart for what WrestleMania is going to be with the stage and the entrance. And honestly, to me, it doesn't matter really what the floor is going to be. I have fallen in love with the riser seats. I'm going to buy a package where I can sit on the risers because it's the way it's always been, and I've never had a problem with those seats. Last year, the seats that we sat on the risers for WrestleMania 31 were honestly better than the riser seats that we had at WrestleMania 30. I honestly felt like I was on the floor. I only felt like I was maybe 50 yards at the most away from the ring. I never really felt disconnected from the ring, that I couldn't see what was going on inside of the ring or anything like that. I wish that maybe we would have been a section over, because where they were shooting the show covered up a little bit of the stage, but I could still see the guys once they came out. I could still see the Tron showing what was going on or what we needed to see, things like that. But I don't know, man. Like, I look at AT&T Stadium and people announce this, and immediately the number jumped. 100,000 people. That seems to be the dream for what people want to see here at AT&T Stadium, because they had 100,000 people there for the Country Music Awards last year. They had 100,000 people there for an NBA basketball game. I think they had an NCAA Final Four game where they had 100,000 people there. I can't remember how many people they had there for the Super Bowl. But even though there was ticket issues with the Super Bowl, where some riser seats and some things weren't ready and fans were actually turned away, and it was a big public affair nightmare for AT&T Stadium as well as the NFL, where they had to cover people's trips to go to the next year's Super Bowl because they honestly were locked out of the stadium. I mean, like, it wasn't like they bought fake seats. It was like they bought legitimate seats. The NFL didn't get them ready. Dallas Stadium, whoever it is, didn't get them ready, and an inspector came in and said, ain't nobody sitting in those seats because they're not safe. But honestly, when you look at this, the numbers for WrestleMania has grew over the past years. The number that was announced for WrestleMania 31 was 76,000 fans. WrestleMania 30, the numbers that were announced were 75,000 fans. Still at that, where is WWE going to find 25,000 extra fans to pack out this stadium? When you look at this stadium, It is big. I'm talking about big, big. When I went to my first WrestleMania 26 in Phoenix, I had really good seats. I sat, and I believe it was like, I was in the 100s. If you put a gun to my head, I might be wrong, but I think I sat in section 119, which would be, I was sitting in the end zone if you were at an Arizona Cardinals game. Honestly, every time I watch the Arizona Cardinals and they're on television, I always look for the big banner and the big scoreboard, and right where it ends and comes down, I'm like, that's my Mania seat right there. But when I was sitting in my seats, I was grateful to be there. I won a contest through WWE Comics. That was probably the only reason that I was going to be at that show. They didn't pay for my hotel. They didn't pay for me to get there, but they paid for my WrestleMania ticket, and that was enough for me to say, I'm going. And I didn't get the real WrestleMania experience because I didn't get access to the Hall of Fame or anything else, but I got to go to my first WrestleMania, and walking into that stadium after sitting in the parking lot for probably 6 hours, yeah, that's right, 6 hours, waiting to get in was a once-in-a-lifetime thing that I'll never forget. And, walking in and seeing the set and the stage and the ring, this is something that I never thought I was ever going to experience. And there was WrestleManias that I'd wanted to attend in the past, but maybe it was the fear of planning a trip like this. I never got the chance to go. I haven't missed out since, except for WrestleMania 29. And I always make sure that I'm going to be able to go. But I sat in my WrestleMania seat that year. And even before the show started, and even during the show at some points, I would sit here, and instead of looking straight into the ring, I would look up, way up, like I was Sabu. I would look at the last fan sitting in the section 400 and just look at them and say, I'm a pretty big wrestling fan. I love professional wrestling. At this point, I wasn't making wrestling videos, but I even do this when I go to shows now. I talk about professional wrestling on YouTube on a daily basis. I tweet about it. I honestly think about it way too much in my life. But that person sitting up there that probably paid $20 for that seat, even though they didn't buy the most expensive seat in the house, they're probably the biggest fan in the house. Or why would they sit up there? There's no reason. Especially with now with the WWE Network, you could be sitting there watching this at home for $10 a month. You could even go to a friend's house, and they probably won't even charge you a cover charge. Maybe you throw in on the pizza and the beer or something like that, but you could be sitting at home, watching it at home for cheaper than it would cost you to go with, $20 for the ticket. No one wants to go to alone, so you have to buy another ticket for a friend to go with you. There's $40. It's probably going to cost you $40 to park your car. You're already sitting at $80. I don't know about this year, man. It's just, we've seen numbers of 75,000 and 76,000 at two of the WrestleManias that are looked at as one of the best ones of all time. WrestleMania 31, we saw in the last month before WrestleMania, a lot of people either canceling their trips or, just bowing out and saying it's not going to happen this year because they didn't care about the card. They weren't feeling Brock Lesnar because he was leaving. They weren't feeling Roman Reigns because he won the Royal Rumble. They didn't feel that the Golden Boy should have been, given the WWE Championship right off the bat like that. But honestly, I don't know, man, because when I watch Monday Night Raw, even now as a fan, I feel bored sometimes because it just seems like the show is just dragging on. 3 hours for Raw is just way too much. I know that the number isn't official, but some people say that it's $100,000 a week that USA is paying WWE in order to have the 1 hour extra of television. And, $400,000 a month, or what would that be? $520,000 a year. That's $500,000. I might have messed up the math there. I mean, that's a lot of money to add to the bottom line of any company. And Dave Meltzer has been talking about this, where basically the ratings on Monday Night Raw is going down. But for some reason, the amount of money that WWE is making, whether if it's higher ticket prices or fandemonium is at a different level where they're able to spend more money on t-shirts and DVDs, buying the network and other things, WWE's revenue is going up. But definitely looking at this number, shrinking week by week. There was 300,000 people who didn't watch Monday Night Raw last week from the previous week. And, there was only a college football game that took people away. Monday Night Raw hasn't been under 3 million viewers in a long, long time. And a lot of people are thinking that this Monday is going to be the time that it's going to be there. And WWE is looking for 100,000 of those people to go to WrestleMania and fill up this stadium, whether if it's sitting in the cheap seats, sitting in the medium seats, buying those front row seats. Somebody needs to fill them. There's going to be those diehards that go every year, but you got to think that how many people really travel to go there? How many people are really diehard people that live in the area? I mean, Texas is a big place. AT&T Stadium is still remotely new, that it is sort of a travel destination. I've got a friend named Destin who lives in Arkansas, who's a Cowboys fan, and it seems like every year they plan a vacation to go to a Cowboys game to be able to see them play live at home. I know that, when college teams play here, it's a big destination to go there, but that's a large number for WWE to jump just because they're going to Dallas, Texas. They're going to need one hell of a big main event. You've already seen the big names. Shawn Michaels say that he's not going to be there. The Rock is sort of looked at as a question mark. One of the big names that they were looking to bring in was Ronda Rousey, and now due to her getting the Roadhouse movie, it looks like she's not going to be there. Stone Cold Steve Austin looks like he's not going to be a part in a wrestling capacity. You've got Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar, which looks like it's being put together as the main event of the show. I don't know, man. I just have not regrets, but you got to have a big stadium because you need something to do this. But, when WWE went to Wembley and in 1992, they had, I believe, 100,000 or close to 100,000 people there. I apologize. But that's because WWE only goes there once, maybe twice a year at that point. And, SummerSlam is looked at as a big deal. They're going to pack that house. I mean, definitely when TNA goes to the UK, it's one of their biggest tours. Definitely WWE notices that going to UK is a good amount of money bringing in because they're sending NXT on a tour over there at the beginning of next year as well. But I don't know, man. I'm not saying I'm not going to be there. I'm not saying that I don't want you to be there. But I think WWE might be having regrets about trying to get 100,000 people in there. What are they going to do? You got to be kidding me. No doubts that the seats way up top are going to be cheap. If you go back and you watch, what show was it? Royal Rumble? I can't think of the year. If I had to guess a year, 95, the one that's in the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, which was supposed to be a big show for Shawn Michaels. They did everything they could to pack that place out. $5 tickets, lots of stars of Mexico wrestling in matches, whether they were dark matches or actually on the pay-per-view, putting them into the Royal Rumble, trying to find things that would bring in people that normally wouldn't go to a WWE show. And they filled that place up. But what are they going to do for this? This is going to be big. I don't know, man. Any suggestions you guys got? Put them in the comment box down below because I'll be looking for them. Peace out, everybody.